1936, in the midst of that ever-deepening gloom, a classic was born. A 1936 movie classic, Reefer Ruin. One moment of bliss, a lifetime of regret. Wake up, America. Here's a roadside weed that's fast becoming a national highway. Hunting a thrill, they inhale the drag on concentrated sin. It's Reefer Ruin. So you're an analyst, huh?
You bet I am. You gotta hang up.
No, I just wanted to know what you think about marijuana.
Oh, it's the most dreaded plague since Moses left Egypt. The quicksand that drags women down, the friend that poses as your friend, the assassin of youth, the living death, the heartbreak of hopeless addiction, suicide, death.
Now you can see the 1936 film classic directly responsible for U.S. government legislation outlawing marijuana. If you've ever wondered where the generation gap came from, don't miss Reefer Ruin. Hop aboard the time machine. As the years roll back to 1936, the nation is in an uproar about the latest fad sweeping the high schools, marijuana. And the same year, Hollywood, in its public's interest and to make a buck, exposed this weed from the Devil's Garden in the amazing film Reefer Ruin. Yes, film buffs, it's what you've been waiting for. This high-camp film is the most ridiculous one ever produced about drugs or people. The kids from the malt shop used to be the model high school students, but now see them on the silver screen dancing and writhing sensuously after smoking what they thought was harmless cigarettes. But in reality, they were reefers. For the audience at home, reefer is the underworld term for marijuana cigarettes. Reefer Ruin, made in 1936, started all the myths about marijuana, guaranteed to boggle your mind and buckle your goose. Following through the time warp, the year 1936, there's a party up at May's house. The whole gang's there. Sounds harmless. An extra guest will be in the life of the party. The death of an innocent girl. Yes, the devil himself is there, handing out reefers. The naive kids at May's will smoke those reefers unaware of the insanity, death, and destruction of marijuana addiction. They don't know about Reefer Ruin. So you're an analyst, huh?
You bet I am. You gotta hang up.
I'd just like to know what you think about marijuana.
It's a movie, isn't it?
It's in what movie?
Reefer Ruin.
What is Reefer Ruin?
The most dreaded plague since Moses left Egypt. The assassin of youth, the living death, the heartbreak of hopeless addiction, suicide, death, incurable insanity. It's 1936 and the weed from the Devil's Garden.
You mean all that's in the movie Reefer Ruin?
No, that's just in the credits.
Don't miss Reefer Ruin.
The Narcotic Story.
I thought it was glamorous.
The motion picture The Narcotic Story strips the gloss from the gangrene of dope addiction.
I thought I'd meet such fascinating people.
The motion picture The Narcotic Story exposes the fiendish rings of criminal dope peddlers.
But it got to be such a terrible craving.
The motion picture The Narcotic Story bears the addicted body's craving for soul-destroying dope.
All right, I admit it. I'm hooked. I'm hooked.
Real, factual, the motion picture The Narcotic Story. The Narcotic Story.
My boyfriends say I'm pretty.
The Narcotic Story reveals the fiendish fate of a pretty girl hooked on dope.
I might have married a nice boy and made a good wife, but...
The Narcotic Story reveals for the first time the hideous history of a girl mated to heroin.
Now I'll do anything for a fix.
The real facts of The Narcotic Story, stripped of its gloss, exposing on your motion picture screen the flesh and bone of the truth. The Narcotic Story. Those screams, ladies and gentlemen, are not the agonized writhings of a maniac, nor are they the futile, desperate protests of a woman murderer being forced to her place of execution. Those are the screams of a beautiful teenage girl who is a confirmed dope addict with a wild craving for narcotics. The Narcotic Story, now blasted through the hush-hush barriers to your motion picture screen with all its torture, its agony, ruthlessly spotlighted in one motion picture.